Hello, all of you vaingloriously wonderful people. This is the Rune Cheburek in Drift Spec, and I'm about to find out if it'll off-road. Yeah, this is still part of the Agents of Sabotage DLC because Cheburek, along with two other cars that I forget what they are at this particular moment, all three received drift upgrade options, and I thought, if I am going to struggle to get a drift car up the mountain, I need it to be rewarding in some way. And even though I didn't lean into the meme with the cardboard panels on my Cheburek, because, I don't know, I feel it's such a classic little car, it deserved to have someone give it a proper design. I mean, you know, it still has a subwoofer in the trunk, and it still has the dash cam on the front. And I did add on the cheesy bloopers, but I don't know, I wanted to go with something a little more respectful of the car. I'll let everybody else lean into the meme. I'm gonna give it a little bit of a tribute for being just the little champ that it is. However, in Drift Spec, oof. You know, it doesn't have a whole lot of power. And normally that's not that big of a deal in road off-road, but the thing is, it's so little power that it's either on or off. You're gonna see here in just a moment that there is no modulating the throttle. It is either any amount of throttle you're there, right there. That was it. I did not let completely off the throttle. I was just trying to back out of it to get the wheel spin to stop. But at about half throttle, maybe quarter throttle, it just stops, like as if you just let off completely. And same thing's going to happen here in just a moment. Right there, where you heard it cut out, that was not me completely off the throttle. It was just lifting a little bit. And there's just not enough power there to deal with the wheel spin, I guess. I don't know. I don't really fully understand it. Because you would think being underpowered would mean less wheel spin, but it's just, you can see the tiniest, that is just the tiniest amount of throttle that I'm giving it. And it's just wheel spin. So it's either not going or it's spinning its wheels, which has not been the case with other drift cars. I do know that this one is extremely rear biased. I don't know if that's true for all the drift cars. I've never really looked into it. I was kind of surprised by how much of a rear bias this has, despite being all-wheel drive. It's only like a little over 7% to the front wheels. So that's a huge amount going to the rear. The other drift cars may well be that way, but just have a little bit more oomph to help them go. I thought maybe going a little farther back would help, but no, because I can't get any traction at all to get any type of speed up. So anything that I did gain, I lose right there on that little turn. And then got a little bit of some momentum going, but no, in the end, will it off-road? Nope, it is a DNF. The poor Cheburek in Drift Spec just cannot do it. It's a shame. I really wanted this car to get up there, but I'm using a cargo bob. I did carry it up to the top of the mountain, which I kind of laughed. This thing weighs so little that when I connected it to the cargo bob, normally like when you connect a car with any type of weight to a cargo bob, it causes the cargo bob to sway just a little bit. You know, not a whole lot. Bigger, heavier vehicles will have a bigger impact. This thing, nothing. Did not, I'm in a tree. Did not have any influence on the cargo bob whatsoever. I may as well just had nothing connected. It was, oh my gosh, Hobo, there's all your body parts right there in a pile. Man. But yeah, it was just comical just how little it impacted the cargo bob. But the new cargo bob comes out, well, it'll be out by the time this video goes live, because this won't go live until the 11th, I think. And by then we will have already had the 4th, because that's how numbers work on a calendar. And the 4th is when the whatever they're calling update, even though we already downloaded it all with Agents of Sabotage. When that update comes out, which also brings the enhanced version to PC. So this video is kind of the last of its era. My entire time with Will It Offroad has been on this version of PC. I've had lots of computer hardware upgrades in that span. I've probably had 4 different PCs in the 6 years, 7 years now that we've been doing Will It Offroad. But we're actually getting enhanced with better graphics, better lighting engine, ray tracing, and wildlife that we will have to dodge on the way up. I'm not sure how that's going to work out. I'm a little leery about what's going to happen with the deer and the coyotes and the mountain lions and all that are on the mountain that could cause cars to have issues. Hopefully it won't, but we'll just have to see. Because I don't think even if you turn on a race, if you disable pedestrians, I don't think it disables animals. I don't think there is a way to disable the animals at all. This little car is even struggling just to get down the mountain, even with gravity helping it. Poor thing. I really wanted so much more from the Cheburek, but just wasn't meant to be. You can see it took us a whole day. I mean, we started a little before noon in game, and now it's evening, it's sunset, but we're down 2 minutes, basically 41 seconds. So let's take a look at the damage on the Drift Spec Cheburek. It is most of the windows missing, half of the headlights are gone, the hood is gone, the front bumper was just hanging by a single bolt, it was bouncing up and down. The doors and the trunk will not close, and it has bent wheels. We'll talk stats in just a second. But we're going to take, first of all, a look at Hobo's support vehicle. The Zirconium Stratum, I think is what it's called. Yeah. From the front and from the rear. And that brings us to our next vehicle. I love this one. The Vapid Uranus. Not going to fall for it. LozSpeed. That I don't know if I'm saying right. I'm going with LozSpeed. And my working justification for that is it's based on a Ford Sierra Cosworth. I think Sierra. So Cos and Loz and LozSpeed, so that's why I'm going LozSpeed. Though it just sounds like I'm saying it kind of French, LozSpeed, because it's hard to get that Z and S in there together. LozSpeed. Yeah, it's tricky. Anyways, love this little car. A ton of fun to drive. It's very enjoyable, easy to control, easy to maneuver around the corners. Just a fantastic thing. Way overpriced, but what is it in GTA Online? But because of how easy it is to drive, I'm really expecting it to turn in a pretty good number. But let's talk real quick about the Cheburek. It joined 31 other vehicles that are DNF, so it's the 32nd ever in the history of Will It Offroad. It is the only sports classics vehicle that we have tested to DNF, and we've tested 34 of them. It is, however, one of 2 from Agents of Sabotage to DNF. The other is the Taco Van, which we actually did years ago, and we're not retesting because it's still just the Taco Van that you steal off the street is the exact same as you would get from Pegasus. So there's no point in retesting it. It's identical. So yeah, pour one out for the Cheburek. But this thing, look at it go. Just absolutely look at it go. Hobo was struggling in his Dominator to keep up a little bit. He even had a few oh shit moments that he called out, which you can hear in the behind the scenes version of Will It Offroad, which you can find out how you can become a channel supporter down in the description. You do that and you get access to some special supporters only content that is ad free, less edited, and includes our conversation from Discord instead of this voiceover. Also down in the description is a link to the spreadsheet that breaks down all the vehicles we have tested over the years in Will It Offroad by, first of all, just 1 through 467, then by class, and then by DLC, and there's a tab for snow, so it's broken down in a lot of different ways for you to take a look and see how different vehicles stack up if you're interested. And also in the description down below is World Off-Road Bingo, which I still have not updated, I know, but you should play, and if you get bingo, leave it in the comments, and you will be our 6th ever winner. And man, I had to be quick in talking about all that, because look at this. We are up in 2 minutes, 32 seconds. So, will it off-road? Heck yeah, if you need to take a Sports Classics vehicle up Mount Chiliad, this is the one, except for the one other one that did better in the class. But we'll talk about that. So that 232 out of 467 vehicles puts this at 35th, as Hobo gets all the notifications on his screen. 35th out of 467, so well into the top 10%. That was just pro driving right there. It is 0.63 seconds slower than the Vapid Trophy Truck. It is 0.05, is that 500ths? I think so. Faster than the Enos Paragon R. In Sports Classics, out of the 34 we have tested, it is second. It does trail the first place vehicle by just a little bit. Also from Vapid, the Retinue Mark II, this car is 3.875 seconds slower. However, it's a lot faster than the third place. The Pegassi Toreador is 6.2 seconds slower than Uranus here. Uranus. I know, I had to throw it in there somewhere. And then in terms of Agents of Sabotage, we've tested 11. This is 4th. It is behind the 3 off-road vehicles, basically. It's 2.2 seconds slower than the Canis Terminus Patrol, but it's good, healthy 3.67 seconds faster than the next vehicle, the Dinka Jester RR wide body. All we have left from this DLC will be the Coquette D5. However, I'm also going to throw in the HSW version of the La Carouse. It is the highest up in Will It Off-Road in its stock form, so I figured that would be a good candidate for our first HSW test. So that should be out, all technical problems notwithstanding that may happen with a new version of GTA on PC, but provided there aren't any, that'll be next week's video. Will be the D5, and then my very first HSW car. Abby's first HSW. It's about time we grow up over here on PC and get ray tracing. I mean, we created ray tracing. Why did consoles get it first in this game? Anyway, fantastic run back down. This thing, just a fantastic little car. 223. Hobo actually gets to do a jump. I really thought he was going to land on his nose, but then he managed to recover and was pretty graceful. So we're back at the top of Mount Chiliad, where, as usual, we fling it off because this is very scientific testing that we're doing to test things and stuff in a very controlled, scientific method way. Or maybe I just like to watch the cars crash. Nah, it can't be that. It's got to be that it's science. It's data. We are doing just work for the sake of humanity here, to broaden our knowledge, to boldly go where everybody who's ever driven up Mount Chiliad's gone, because you're gonna fall off eventually anyway. So yeah, it's the tail end. It's just fun. That's what it's for. Except I'm never going to admit that because it's for science. Even on this run, though, this car is doing fantastic. It's like we're throwing it off a mountain, and oh, that was a nice shot right there. That was kind of cool. It's just like it just does everything really, really well. And I really wish more cars could be this easy to drive in GTA. I don't know, maybe that would make it boring if some of them, you know, that are a little bit challenging were easier. I don't know. Tried to get over the wood pile, but my back end bounced up caused me to come at the ramp, well, not the ramp, but the side of that little gully just the wrong way. Couldn't get over the woodpile because of it, but we are down 1 minute 47 seconds. Let's take a look at the damage on the Uranus LozSpeed. And most of the windows are gone, most of the headlights are missing, the hood is missing, the front bumper is damaged. These are very similar to what we saw in the Cheburek. The doors and the trunk will not close, and it does have bent wheels, and that's going to wrap it up for this week's Will It Off-Road as we take a look at Homo's Dominator that took a beating. We'll be back next week with the cars I mentioned earlier, and I want to thank you very much for watching. There are 10 kajillion things you could have watched today on YouTube, and you chose my little Will It Off-Road video, and that means a lot to me, so thank you. Until next time, I'm Brandon, reminding you to stay vainglorious.